April is Autism Awareness Month, and today we have Dr. Marcus Tomir from the Canisius Institute for Autism Research to talk about your work. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you. We're very excited to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about the Institute and the work that you guys do.
So the Institute for Autism Research is an institute. We have a variety of different professors, clinicians that work with us from different modalities and disciplines. But the main thing, there's three main focuses of the Institute for Autism Research. One is research. We want to evaluate, we want to make sure that what we're doing for autistic kids really makes a difference. Because kids grow up quick. You know, we work with kids from age 4 all the way up to age 12. But before you know it, you know, your 12-year-old is now 16, 20. So we want to work with kids, autistic individuals, to what we're trying to do is build skills. Okay, so I'll get to that in a sec. So, but we do research, we do training. So we're training future students, future clinicians to work with autistic individuals, how to maximize their potential. And then the third area, we do a service. So our goal is to make sure that what we're doing makes a difference, but then we want to get it disseminated. We want the more people we can help, the better, right? We're not, for an autistic individual, we're not trying to change who they are. What we're trying to do is maximize their potential. We're trying to build skills that allow them to really be, you know, reach their potential.
And functioning.
Correct.
Have that independence.
Yeah.
Sure.
So in terms of the research, what we're known for, we've have several different programs that we've done randomized clinical trials on research. And again, I always tell families when you hear research, they're not lab animals. They're kids. They're human beings, intrinsically valuable human beings. And what we do is we develop programs and then evaluate, do they make a difference? Right? So we'll compare them. And there's the four main areas that we work on when we're working with these kids. We work on just social skills, getting them to understand, you know, how to navigate the social interaction, right? So you got to look at the person. You don't want to do this because it freak them out, but you want to, you know, you just stare at somebody, but you do need to check in with somebody. Let them know, hey, I want to interact with you. So we work on social skills. We work on face and emotion recognition, getting them to understand it's not just the words you say, it's how you say it. There's so much, like now you're nodding, but if I started saying like, ooga blue, you'd be like, what's he talking about? You know, but you'd be giving information and then I got to modulate where I'm coming from, right? So we work on emotion recognition, recognizing emotions as well as displaying. You know, sometimes their emotions don't match what they're feeling. And so you think, oh, they're not interested or they're confused, and they're not. They just don't necessarily display it. Their emotions don't match. And then the third area we work on is interest expansion. Many of the kids we work with have very narrow interests where they can tell you everything you didn't want to know about something in great detail. And so that's okay. I mean, everybody has a right to their interests. You and I can have our interests. We just can't let it dominate every conversation that we have.
Yeah.
And so the fourth area we work on is what we call the interpretation of non-literal language, which is a very fancy way to say we work on idioms, getting them to understand that words can have more than one meaning. So if I say, you know, let's hit the road, you know, that doesn't mean we're going to pound the pavement, right? It means, hey, let's get moving. And again, when you talk about autism, there's a lot of variation. It's not like they all don't understand, every autistic individual doesn't understand what this means, but sometimes they get stuck on very literal interpretations of language. So that's, and I know I don't have forever, but so those are the four areas that we work on, and then we do them in programs where we teach. You know, we model, we role play, then the kids have to act out their example, show them, you know, show them a time that they had a conversation or asked a question, whatever it is, they have to act it out following the steps. And then all of our programs will do that instruction period, and then it's followed by some type of cooperative activity. So they have to use it in it could be a board game, a computer task, an art task, some type of activity where they use the skill. It's not enough for me, if I could just tell these kids, oh, make sure you look at person and have a back and forth conversation, if that happened, I wouldn't be working with many of these kids, right? So we need to teach it and then give them practice. So the programs that we do, that's our summer program we've been doing for 21 plus years. And then we've adapted it to work in schools. So over a 10-month school year, we go into schools. And then we've done an outpatient model where we take, instead of the kids, the summer's 5 weeks, 7.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's summer camp to the kids, even though we're building the skills. But The outpatient program is done, it's the same program we do in the summer, but in an outpatient setting. So where the kids come twice a week for 18 weeks, right?
And it's fun for them.
Yes, it has to be.
Yeah.
Social skills are the hardest thing in the world to teach, right? But it has to be fun. Otherwise, we're wasting. I mean, it's not like you're going to see change.
You guys are doing incredible work, and I want to thank you because I know people in my life that have this, and they're functioning and they're doing well because people like you that help them and be strong and independent and have those skills that we all need. So you can learn more about the research by heading over to canisius.edu. Thank you again for all that you do.
Thank you.
Well, April is National Donate Life Month. More than 100,000 men, women, and children are currently on the national transplant waiting list. Correspondent Susan Elizabeth Litfields introduces us to a family that received the life-saving gift